Dan Parrish on the trombone. And of course, Jeff Rubin on the tenor saxophone. And so, let's hear it for Jeff Rubin. Come on. Without this man here, he's the man who's in charge of Central Florida for jazz. The Jazz Don. Central Florida, don't mess with Jeff Rubin. So you better clap loud when I say that. Okay, this tune is a tune I wrote, and I wrote it for my old boss, Milt Jackson, who I played with for many years, and it's for him and his best buddy, Ray Brown. This is called Bags and Brown.
One, two, three.
Everybody for this band. Dr. Tyler, we love it. We're so blessed to have these wonderful musicians. How about it for Eric Alexander on the tenor saxophone? And the one and only Mike Ladon on the hand
Well, I just can't say enough about Jeff Rupert because, you know, he's a passionate guy, great musician. But it only takes one person's passion to start all this. And, you know, he knows what's up. And so, I want to say that it's just heartwarming. I did a clinic here today, and the kids are fantastic, and they're really into it. And this is how jazz stays alive. But also, because you find people came to see us. That's how it stays alive. So all this talk about jazz is dead, forget that. Jazz is alive. Because look at all these kids. They ain't going nowhere. Keep coming to these concerts, keep supporting jazz music, and thank you very much for listening to us. It's been a real pleasure for me and Eric to come down here and play for you. Now we're going to end with a little blues, because this is a blues instrument. Anybody who doesn't play blues on the organ shouldn't be playing the organ. Okay, this is called Cherry Point. All right, thank you for Matador. You know, some of you may never have heard jazz organ before. And I know a lot of people say, organ, I thought that was for skating rinks. But that just dates you because nobody even knows what a skating rink is anymore, I don't think. But, you know, you used to hear organ on soap operas and skating rinks back when I was a kid. But then came Jimmy Smith and all of these great organ players like Don Patterson and Lonnie Smith and Jack McDuff and Jimmy McGriff, and it just goes on and on. So if you like what you hear, don't just get my record. Of course, get that one first. But then go get other ones, because all these guys are part of the history. Now, what I do with my group, the Cleveland Quartet, because I have many other records out, and what we do is we play some tunes that you may not think are even jazz, but we make them jazz. And these tunes are by people from my era and beyond, which means like the Spinners and the Stylistics and people like that. And this one is by Michael Jackson, and it's called Rock With You.
Hey, how about it? We play what we call smart baseball here at UCF in the jazz program. I have 3 lead trumpet players, I think at least 4 really, out of these 5. That was a freshman music education major, Phoebe Rich on the trumpet. So we've got a lot of soloists in the band, but it's tradition with the organ trio to have guitar playing a lot of solo. How about it for our junior on the guitar? And we're going to cut the band loose for one number. We're just going to let you guys stay there, but we're going to turn it over to Mike and Eric to play a ballad. I'll let Mike introduce it. Clarence, your presence has been requested. Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Clarence Kemp.
It's funny, I didn't even know Clarence was here, but I've known Clarence forever. And
Clarence and I were just joking. I said, you could have stopped coming to concerts. Every time he comes to a concert, we ask him to play, and he just wants to sit in the back and listen. So thank you very much, Mr. Patrick.
I mean, Clarence and I remember one great experience we had together, where we were on a jazz cruise. You remember this? And we rented scooters on some island, and we were out like just scooting around, and we went into the water, and we did all this stuff, and we almost missed the leaving of the ship going back. And he's a wonderful human being, great drummer. And this is not easy because he's coming up to play a ballad, but it's not just a ballad, because this is by Lionel Richie, and it's called Still. Jeff Alexander. See what he just said, arrangement on the spot. But that's what happens in Oregon, because the Oregon is basically a whole big band right here. So like, drummers have to know how to just lay in it, because organ players always right, no matter what. Okay, so there you go. That's still, and most people go, really, you're going to play a Lionel Richie tune? I can't believe that for jazz. But you see, when you have a musician like Eric Alexander, it turns into something quite different. So let's hear it once again for Eric Alexander. Okay, Jeff? Okay, this tune here, this is by Greatly Morgan, and it's called Party Time. And by the way, all these tunes are on our CD. There you go.
Gosh, we've had guest artists here like Benny Golson, Dr. Lonnie Smith, Lou Donaldson, Kevin Mahogany, Mulgrew Miller, One for All, just a long list of bands, and we're very happy to have you all joining us tonight. And of course, our featured artist is a wonderful pianist and Hammond organ player. His name is Mike Ladon. How about it for Mike Ladon? Mike has a new album out that if it's not in your library, I highly recommend you pick it up. I think he might have even brought copies. But I was in the car listening to WUCF, and I heard Mike's new album, and it's a big band. It's the Gruber Quartet, which is Mike and Joe Farnsworth, Eric Alexander, and Peter Washington. I'm sorry, Peter Bernstein on guitar, joined by a big band of world-class jazz musicians. So tonight, I called Mike and I said, "Hey, Mike, what do you think about sending those arrangements down and we play them down at UCF and you bring Eric Alexander?" He said, "I'd love to." And graciously, Eric Alexander decided to come down as well. So we're very excited about tonight. Tomorrow night, Marty Morell, our jazz drum set teacher, has decided to step down late. Marty has been here since the beginning of the jazz studies program, and bear in mind he is not retired from playing, just from teaching. And I twisted his arm, wanted him to stay, but at any rate, he said, no, it's time, and we were lucky enough to hire a full-time assistant professor of jazz drums, the one and only Clarence Pence. So we're very happy to have Clarence. At any rate, as they say, it takes a village, and the first guy who ever, the first dean who ever interviewed me was Dr. Bruce Whistler, who is he's a retired faculty member here, and he served in the dean's office. And Dr. Whistler interviewed me, and he's an early music specialist, so it only was a completely natural choice to have the early music specialist interview the first jazz studies faculty member. It's a joke, of course. But needless to say, Bruce and I became good friends almost right away after I was hired at UCF. And he's been a supporter of the jazz program from the first day. He's supported the jazz program in many ways. One is he helped me write the curriculum for the degree in jazz studies, which was a tremendous help. And if it wasn't for Dr. Whistler, we wouldn't have a jazz studies degree here. Bruce and I still joke about it all the time that my right-hand man was the early music musicologist. So we're grateful for Dr. Whistler's continued support, and I think he's here tonight, so great to see you, Bruce. And pardon my long-windedness, but I wanted to bring this up because through Bruce's support, well, I have to tell you, when we first got here, nobody in the jazz band wanted to take a solo. When it came to the solo section, students would look away. Oh, no one wanted to take a solo. Now it's the other way around. They all want a solo. And the level has just gone up and up and up because of this great faculty we have. But also along with that, the whole level of the music goes up. And one of the things that's very important in a jazz band, if you're playing swing, and I mean not just swinging music, but the style of swing, say pre-1942, is to have a rhythm guitar. And most of our guitar players in the jazz studies area have a semi-hollow body guitar, which is not really suitable for playing rhythm guitar. Rhythm guitar is, if you think of Count Basie's band with Freddie Green, or Charlie Christian, that's a great rhythm guitar player. So you need a specialized instrument. Well, 15, 20 years ago, we really didn't need a rhythm guitar, and we don't expect students to buy one. But at any rate, with Dr. Whistler's continued support, we recently bought this 1954 Gibson L7 guitar that Noah's holding. Normally a student wouldn't own at a young age or be able to afford to own. And so we've decided to name this guitar Marilyn. So this guitar's name is Marilyn, which is Bruce's wife, who passed away a few years back. But I think the rhythm guitar in jazz is understated. It's something that you almost only feel. But the band feels it. In fact, right away when Marilyn joined the band, all the guys went, oh wow, it feels really good. And I thought there's no better name than Marilyn for this guitar, because while I knew Marilyn before she passed, in talking to Bruce, my wife and I would talk to her, we knew that Marilyn was kind of behind-the-scenes advocate for college students, for women, and really anybody who needed advocacy. She was sharp, and like I said, she kind of could peel a banana without touching it. I hope you don't mind my analogies, Bruce, but that's just how I remember Marilyn. So it's only appropriate that we debut Marilyn at the 15th annual UCF Jazz Festival. This is, we're going to open up for Eric and Michael Dunn with a classic. Lionel Hampton made it famous. This is simply called Flying Home. We hope you enjoy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. How about one more time for this band? Just get Good job, ladies and gentlemen. On the drum. Come on, baby, you gotta get it back. Michael Dunn and Eric Alexander here in Orlando.
I think Florida, Orlando, or wherever I am. I love it here because it's snowing and horrible where I live, and it's wonderful here. So thank you for having us. How about these guys? Anyway, I'm just letting you know that there just happens to be a CD for sale after this concert. Has all this music on it, and I would highly recommend you get one because I need the money. Thank you.
Me too.
Okay, this next tune is it's a tune by, well, that first tune was by me, and it's called "It's All Your Fault," but it's actually dedicated to one of my heroes. And if you follow jazz organ at all, and if you don't, pay attention because his name is Dr. Lonnie Smith. And he was my friend, and he was one of my idols. And that's what he always said when you see him. You'd say, "Hey Lonnie, what's up?" And he'd say, "It's your fault." So that's what I called the tune, that's what I called the record, and all this music is dedicated to him. This next tune is by Grant Green, who's a great guitar player, and this is called Matador. Thank you.